What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Enter the Javelin, Mixer's one and only Anthem community web show. I appreciate y'all hanging out for with us today as we go over a whole crap ton of news that we got last week. Most specifically, we got a new patch on Wednesday, and then we got a live stream on Thursday, and we're gonna go over those things in just a second here. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. All right, so let's do the first thing. Fake, they're spark fighting right now. Just leave them be, man. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get into the patch notes from this week. Where did I put them? Oh, they're over here. Here they are. Thank you guys for sparks. All right, let's get these notes up here. There, we got them notes. So this is the patch that went into place on Wednesday last week. That would be the 29th, as stated on the top here. Features. Improved in free play. Improved the compass to show collectible items as a question mark when you are near one. So now you can now see the the collectibles on the compass, so you know where to start walking towards. Added a purple target icon to show an area where an enemy that is guaranteed to drop loot will appear. When the enemy appears, they will have a white target icon. So if you see an event going on, there'll be a purple target around it, and then once the target spawns, it'll have a white target over his head. T-Prime, thank you so much for the host, man. Added the ability to fast travel to different Strider locations from the map while in free play. This is a huge quality of life update. You know, now if you're on one side of the map and you need to get to the other side of the map, you'll be able to use the Strider locations to fast travel there. Rayman, thank you for the host, brother. 3 Emerald Abyss legendary missions have been added, so that's what we're going to do as soon as we're done with everything today, is take a look at those Emerald Abyss missions. I did not jump in here last week since the update happened. Load screens now display lore regarding the location that you're loading into. So you'll see in the live stream, when we play the live stream for a little bit, that there's new loading screens that have lore. Thank you, dog. AMP added a simple UI for players to communicate non-verbally with each other and express themselves via emotes. This is accessed by pressing down on the D-pad if using a controller, or B on a keyboard for PC. So this is now an emote or communication wheel that, like, a lot of other games have. Dog, thank you so much for the sparks, man. We are 1.4 away from 10 million spark milestone, which is super awesome, and I appreciate all of the support that, as always, guys. General, fix an issue where the alt key cannot be... Damn. Rayman isn't going to let anybody do him wrong. Thank you so much, guys. Now we are close. I'll show the leaderboard after we're done with everything, guys. Fix an issue where the alt key could not be correctly used in key binding. I don't use that personally, but I can understand why that's frustrating. Creatures. Dominion, Storm, and Frostbrutes no longer have shields. I don't know why this kind of went away. I think that it was like it added to the challenge of fighting them, but okay. All Storm, Javelins, Elementalists, Valkyries, etc. now regenerate their shields like other shielded creatures. When hovering, they can be grounded with force or with fire status effects. That's good. The Scar Hunter can now be grounded with fire status effects. Also good. Improved the animation of Scar Grenadier grenade throw to be more clear. I understand, dog. I understand. Javelin changes. Looking away from interaction point while interacting no longer cancels the interaction. And now you can actually look around while you're reviving people. Super important. Gear changes. Interceptor. Base damage of the cluster mine has been increased by from 110 to 135. Base damage of Searching Glaive has been increased from 550 to 605. Base damage of Plasma Star has been increased from 110 to 210. Base damage of Wraith Strike has been increased from 250 to 315. Colossus. Base damage of Burst Mortar has been increased from 300 to 400. Base damage of Flat Cannon has been increased from 42 to 60. Base damage of black powder, which is the masterwork flat cannon, has been increased from 52.5 to 75. Ranger, base damage of blast missile has been increased from 220 to 310, and the base damage of Argo's Mage, which is the masterwork version, has been increased from 275 to 387.5. All right. Storm, base damage of Flame Burst has been increased from 150 to 260. Base damage of Venomous Blaze, which is the masterwork version, has been increased from 225 to 390. Base damage of Arc Burst has been increased from 300/150 to 375/185. All right. General bug fixes. Fix a bug where multiple status effects applied to creatures were not able to be detonated for combos. Inventory slot count at end of expedition now matches the Forge and Vault. Hey, Mrs. Milk, thank you so much for the sparks. How you doing today? Inventory slot count at end of expedition now matches the Forge and Vault. I said that already. Cortex menu, various bugs with navigation and opening, closing the Cortex have been fixed. Cortex menu fixed issues where some entries could not be marked as read or would become unread. That is a pet peeve of mine, like, to the max. Seeing all those, like, notifications. New items gained from an expedition will now properly show the new item icon. Reduce frequency and intensity of several weapon muzzle flashes and gear effects. Colossal components Reinforced Hull and Colossal Stock Augment have had several issues with their text descriptions fixed. Thank you for all the sparks today. Fixed an issue where the Javelin's lower body would twist oddly when strafing and swapping weapons. Resolved errors with the conductive lattice interceptor component not always providing correct stat bonuses. Thank you so much for the sparks, Mrs. Milks. And we did and then Crow drops 100,000, getting us to 10 million sparks. Appreciate you guys so much for getting us to this milestone this week. Can we hit 15? Who knows? The recommended power values were unintentionally reverted to their original values and have been fixed. The values should now read 425 for GM1, 575 for GM2, and 675 for GM3. We'll go through some of the stronghold fixes. General stronghold fixes fix various issues where players could get stuck, get outside of the environment, and other art-related issues. Heart of Rage fix an issue where the monitor's glaive would rotate oddly during its final animation. Heart of Rage fix an issue. You broke it! Yay! Fix an issue where you couldn't replay the Heart of Rage after selecting to play another mission at the end of an expedition screen. Can your missus do that? Fix an issue where the door closed prematurely, preventing players from progressing to the arena. Heart of Rage fix an issue where a player could be party gathered if hovering too close to the door of the second arena. That's happened to me a bunch of times. Heart of Rage fix an issue where you would receive no loot if your entire party was down during the final phase of the Titan fight. Wow. Fix an issue where the monitor encounter would break if too much damage was done before the final phase. That's weird. Sunken Cell fix an issue where the Fury sometimes would collide with a rotating pillar on entering the arena. Sunken Cell fixed some issues where creatures were unable to pass to the player correctly. Fixed an issue where the flight suppression progress wasn't showing for some members of the squad. Fixed an issue where Ash Brutes would be able to move while frozen. Fixed some issues with Spanish voiceover conversations. And then in the Temple of Scar, fixed an issue where the player could stand inside the shield bubble of the final boss. Fixed an issue where the player could be knocked into a cage and trapped in the boss arena. Fixed an issue where rejoining a session at the final boss arena would cause player to spawn outside of the arena and then get party gathered into the arena. And then in the Tyrant Mine, fixed an issue where the icon would appear twice on the expedition map. Fixed an issue with the text missing on the objective. There's just too many mission fixes, but there's a lot of them here. Fort Tarsus fixed an issue where Forge UI appeared during cinematic for crafting the Dawn Shield. Clarified the objective text for building and equipping the Dawn Shield. Fixed visual issues with curtains at the entrance to the bar in Fort Tarsus. I agree, dog. Adjusted the conversation with Sev in the introduction to the Sunken Cell Stronghold to reflect that you've spoken with Sev previously. Fix various in the environment. Fix various issues where players could get stuck, get outside of the environment, and other art-related issues. And then there was some fixes to free play / world events. Fixing an issue where scar hatches would sometimes appear and be enabled to enter in the middle of a world event instead of at the end. Reputation rewards. Fix an issue where reputation points were not being awarded for the freelancer in need world event, and that added reputation points for discovering caves you can enter. Fixed issues with the Arcanist Korok study world event where dying and respawning was sometimes causing the world event to break and not be able to complete. What we did find out later is that there was a bug introduced in this that were causing longer than anticipated load times, and that was repaired yesterday or Friday. I'm gonna fast forward as much as we can here because I'm not gonna sit through 8 minutes of nothingness. So the one thing is that the visuals are always pretty good. We'll talk about some of the things we saw in this. Basically, they gave us a tour, as they called it, of the Cataclysm. So for once, people at the Anthem Reddit or Anthem subreddit Discord did some great things, and if you are over there, a gentleman named Muesli gave a really good TLDR of the entire stream, which is kind of what I'm going to go off of because I think he outlined it very, very well. All right. So basically what they showed us was the Cataclysm, and the Cataclysm is going to be a total of an 8-week event. So there's two. There we go. The pre-event's going to be 2 weeks, and you can get some vanity rewards that go building up to the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm is going to then last 6 weeks total, with rotating inversions. There'll be 3 missions added with the Cataclysm. The arena itself is going to be the Cataclysm, which they'll actually show the map in a little bit. There's going to be a new scoring system, inversions like I spoke about before, and then leaderboards, both friend and world leaderboards, new power, and new rewards. So power is going to jump 5 on masterwork and legendary gear, so it's going to go to 66 and 76 respectively. Now, they do explain later on the stream, but because we're already talking about it, so the scoring you'll see here in a few seconds when they jump into the Cataclysm, that there's going to be scoring based on how well you take things out in the arena, and there's going to be multiple arenas, but your main goal is to get to the end of the Cataclysm and fight Vara. She's a I guess a Dominion commander, and they trigger the Cataclysm in order to set disarray in the world of Anthem. Now, what inversions are, inversions can be where? Whisper, where? Hold on. Are you talking about hold on, Whisper. Are you talking about in general or through the audio somewhere? Through the stream you're talking about? I don't know about that. Oh, in your party. I got you. Oh boy. Threw me off there for a second. I thought I was getting like audio bleed from like my Xbox party or something like that. All right. So the inversions are going to be similar to like Nightfall modifiers like in Destiny, or modifiers in a sortie and Warframe, and they're going to contribute to the scoring system. So or potentially hinder you from scoring. So there might be they were talking about increased ability cooldowns, or bonus damage or bonus points from certain weapon types or something like that. So those are the things that you could potentially see. And then there's going to be worldwide and party list leaderboards similarly to what we see in Mass Effect already, in like Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. And it's going to be a way to judge your scores from the entire world, the entire player base. Now, what they also do mention in here is the score is going to judge how much like currency you get, and then the currency then in turn allow you to go to the vendor at Fort Tarsus, the Cataclysm vendor, and redeem for rewards. So the score doubles if you defeat Vara, and completing arenas within the Cataclysm actually will extend your time. Rewards earned scale to your level. So if you, I'm assuming that, oh, that's because if you can do this under Grandmaster if you wish to do so, but it's gonna push people to do Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. There's a ticking crazy storm going on in the arena, which you'll see here in a second. There's kind of like a blue haze over the entire thing. And what a lot of people have been talking about online is that, you know, you see the E3 demo from 2017, you see like this really wild storm and everything like that. And what we're seeing here is not necessarily exactly the same, but Ben does mention in the stream here that the storm effects are not final. So there's something, those are things that can be changed as we move on. Now, we're going to talk about in a little bit later about the PTS launching tomorrow, the private test server. And I'm sure that's something that a lot of people are going to make comments about and bring feedback about that they will adjust moving forward. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. So now when they show the Cataclysm start, you'll notice that there's a ticking timer for the timers, and then you will actually take damage while you're in the storm itself. And then there's different parts of the arena where you can set up safe zones where you're not going to get not going to lose or not going to take damage while you're in the open world. Let's see. There's different areas in the arena, different and then they have different conditions of completion. And then the arenas are going to change week over week, so that all like your path through the Cataclysm is not going to be the same every single week, as well as the modifiers being there to add some challenge into it as well. Like we talked about before, Vara is the boss. She is associated with the Dominion. And there will be this is talking about something else. Okay. New loot in the Cataclysm, which I think they're going to show the screen here before they jump in. So there's going to be new weapons, new masterwork gear. Yeah, exactly. I have perfect timing today. New weapons, new masterwork gear, melee equipable slot, which we'll talk about that in 1 second while I get through the rest of this list. They're not going to add crazy stuff like axes or swords. We'll just talk about it now then. No crazy stuff like axes or swords, but there's going to be variants of existing melees, which is going to allow all classes to have a priming and detonating melee. So we don't know how that's going to look yet, and I'm sure that they have some ideas. So like the Ranger has the shock mace right now, and their melee is going to be a little bit different to detonate as opposed to just prime. Masterwork and legendary support gear will be in the game once the Cataclysm launches, and I know that's something that a lot of people have been asking about for a long time, so it's good that we're going to get those things. The PTS, which launches tomorrow, is really going to showcase the overall workings of the Cataclysm, and then they're going to bring the loot into the Cataclysm, I think on the second or third PTS, which is what they were talking about here. So all new items will have a power level existing higher power level than existing items. Currently, the Masterwork and Legendary are 5 items item level higher. That's what we talked about before. So earning rewards, like we did say before, you're going to earn a currency in the Cataclysm for your level of completion, your score. So you get more currency for the higher score, and then you're going to get war chests from the vendor in Fort Tarsus. Rewards from war chests will change throughout the event, so you're not going to get the same thing week over week. What they did say later on in the stream is that luck is being removed completely. Now, luck is being removed because it was never thoroughly explained. People had a lot of problems grasping it, and then it just didn't it didn't work as as completely intended. So they're just gonna take it out completely. It's gonna be replaced by armor, and then everyone will now have a base max loot stat. So they were saying before that your base stat's 100, and then you could max out at 190. With a plus 90% luck. Now that's going to be 100%, 190% luck base, and then all of your armor pieces before, all your gear before that had luck will have armor on it now. Leaderboards, just comparing scores with friends, guildmates, squad mates, and then they will be in the PTS build, and not necessarily in the first build, but potentially the second build, not this week but next week. Inversions we already talked about. And then, like I said, the PTS, they are going to be jumping into the PTS tomorrow. It's going to be live, so you can access the PTS if you have Origin Access Premier on PC or if you have the game purchased on PC. They do want to bring the PTS to consoles later, but right now it's only going to be PC. Obviously, that's for certification purposes. If you ever play Warframe and you are up on all of their things, you know that it does take a lot of time for them to get certification to pass new content into the game. So this is why they're doing it on PC only at the moment. It looks like there's only going to be specific days or time slots, and they're going to announce them in advance. So the first one will be tomorrow, and we'll talk about those times as soon as we get through the rest of these notes here. Darklife, thank you so much for the host, man. They say they will update the PTS regularly, which may be weekly. And they're going to include patch notes on whichever build they're putting into place. Now, let's take a look, and I'm not going to put this away. Let's take a look at the PTS notes. I'll put that up on screen here. PTS notes. So this is from today. This is Storm on the Horizon. Something big is on the way. A Cataclysm is coming for you, and if you own the game on PC or a current Origin Access Premier subscriber, you can get an early look with the new public test server. What is a Cataclysm? It's a season-long event with new enemies to fight, mysteries to uncover, and power to be gained. What is the Anthem public test server? It's a way for Anthem PC players to share their feedback about the upcoming Cataclysm experience before it's available to everyone. Currently, the public test server is only available on PC and in English. To anyone who owns Anthem on PC or is an Origin Access Premier subscriber. What else do I need to know about the PCS? Here are the key points. It's starting June 4th, which is tomorrow from the time that we're live streaming right now. Who can play? All current Anthem PC owners or anyone with an active Origin Access Premier subscription. Where you can find it, visit your game library on origin.com. And then there's going to be a PTS forum on EA Answers. So you can go right to the EA Answers HQ and leave all your feedback there. Whew. This talks about being able to download. So you should be able to download it now. You won't be able to bring your current Javelins, currency, XP, or any other items into the public test server, nor will you be able to take anything earned in the PTS back to your regular version of the game. Annoyed Time, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. You'll enter the PTS at level 30 with all 4 Javelins unlocked, so you can focus your time and attention on the Cataclysm itself instead of worrying about leveling up. While the public test server is available, you'll have a chance to explore new areas, take on tough enemies, and face some of the deadliest weather events the world of Anthem can throw at you. You'll also have the chance to let us know what you like or don't about what you're experiencing. Feel free to visit the PTS forums to leave your feedback for the game team and discuss what you've seen and done with your fellow freelancers. And then this just kind of goes on with just like basic stuff of what's going on, where you can find more information on the game. We did see Jesse talking about the Cataclysm itself, saying that, like, you know, people are commenting already about, is this only going to be an 8-week event and then it's just completely gone? And he said it would be kind of silly to have people spend all this time building a huge arena for activities and not keep it around afterwards. So I don't know if there's going to be a large, new explorable area, which is what I think personally, or if they're just going to have rotating Cataclysm events in this one particular area. If you're going to ask me, 8 weeks seems like a long time to have like recurring events like overlapping, but 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off seems kind of reasonable, or bringing it back once every quarter doesn't seem too bad, but then that would leave you a month off, so that doesn't seem too realistic. To me, I think 6 months between Cataclysm seems like a good time frame. But this is only one we have right now. They said the Cataclysm is going to be the premier endgame experience for Anthem, and we're finally getting the first one. So we don't know what this is going to be moving forward, how it's going to transform the game, or how we play the game. So if you're on PC, you have the game, or on Origin Access Premier, I do suggest you jump into the PTS, take a look, provide critical feedback to the developers so we can get a good quality endgame experience moving forward. Because I think the problem now is that you have a lot of games with a lot of content, and more content coming soon. So you have games like Borderlands, you have games like Destiny, you have games like Monster Hunter, so we're going to have a new expansion in September. All of these games are going to have substantial new content coming very, very soon. And I think it's super important that BioWare and Anthem understand that and take the feedback in stride and really get things out as fast as humanly possible, without really degrading the integrity of the content itself. And the feedback from the players is the absolute most important. What I do like here is they've gone away from the let's post everything on Reddit and instead using their own forums. I think that's a really like positive step in the right direction, because I just don't think Reddit really understands what this game should or could be, and I don't think anybody really does. I think it's going to be an amalgamation of a lot of people's ideas, and then ideas pulled from other game systems. So I'm guilty of this too, I'd say, because I want this game to be like very much like Destiny, but I don't think it's going to be like that. And you have to see it more like Diablo, where you're constantly testing yourself in new seasons and gaining new gear, and then the little jumps are incremental, not giant changes as you may expect in like a Destiny or Division expansion. So what are your guys' thoughts on what we've seen so far with the Cataclysm? I know I had like a slide up for a little bit, but I think at base we can see a really engaging experience here, but we need to see it with our hands. I don't want people saying, oh, this is one thing on a live stream and I didn't like what I saw. We're not I don't think we're that close to launch to really say that this is what we're gonna get. So the ideas are there, and they're working on iterating on these ideas, and the player feedback is integral right now to getting a quality experience out there at the true launch. So I don't think we're gonna see content until July, if I'm being completely honest. I'd say 4 weeks is probably like the most reasonable expectation at this point of when we could see quality Cataclysm content in the wild for everyone to play and earn. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm listening right now. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and get a drink of water while we're kind of taking all the thoughts. But I want to know what everybody else thinks about the Cataclysm, because I think the glimpse that we've seen is a positive step right now. It's not the answer. I'm not gonna sit here and try to sugarcoat things and say this is the answer to our problem, but it's a step in the right direction. But we got like 15 minutes or so, 16 minutes or so left of this video. We'll kind of just like go over the rest of the video, watch this, talk about the some of the cool things that we see, because one thing that did have me a little worried is that they didn't necessarily talk about new weapon archetypes, but we're talking a lot of different variations to guns that were already in the game, and improving things that aren't working so well. So in my squad we kind of joke around with the soothing touch, and it's not like a great weapon right now. So maybe that's something that they take a look at, because I think most of the guns are pretty good at base, but what they lack is something to make them truly special. So with the Soothing Touch not being really great for all of the content, it might be good for one particular thing. And if they change a modifier or something like that, I think that it can improve that drastically in the current meta that we have, because a lot of people are using the same things. You know, people are really honing in on the couple of weapons that really shine right now, and that's what happens. That's what happens to these types of games. You know, you fall into the hard meta of things, and I think they're doing the right thing now to adjust those sort of things. It's interesting that they would just make entirely new archetypes, I guess, because some people like what they have, and now you can introduce new things that are slightly different than the old things, and give those as rewards as well. So you guys saw a quick glimpse right there of the map and the overall scale of the Cataclysm area, which is pretty, I'd say it's pretty large. Like, it doesn't look like, or you know, people are getting that impression that it's not that large, but it does seem big enough to provide substantial content moving forward. Kinchuk, what's going on, man? How was the rest of your weekend, dude? Either way, guys, this live stream, a drastic improvement from the last one, and I think we can all agree on that part. I didn't even show the last one, so that's how bad that I felt it was. And I moderate the live stream, and I didn't want to do it at that point. They were really struggling with taking community questions. They seemed like they had one agenda for the stream, and that was to show off the last stronghold that they put into the game. And I understand what they're trying to do. You know, they do want to showcase the good that's in the good that's in the game and the good that's coming, because I feel that the Sunken Cell was a very good stronghold. But to ignore a lot of the community's concerns at that point in time was extremely detrimental to the fan base and progress of the game moving forward at that point. Now, almost 4 weeks later, we are in a better place now, but I still think that there's some irreparable damage done to some people's viewpoints. And I hope that some people can see past that and see the really high potential for this game moving forward. But if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll continue the last few minutes here. They do show the last couple minutes of the stronghold and kind of go over the PTS and when we could expect the PTS, which we kind of just talked about a little bit. But I think even like, you know, some of the world effects going on here, it seems like stuff is always shooting at them. So I do think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Like, they had to put they called it God, you know, Jesse called it God mode, which it kind of seems like it is, but some of these arenas are drastically different than things that we've seen already in the game. So that's a huge plus to me. So like the beach scene, you have like this underwater looking area, which is actually more like in open air type of thing. Was there more than? No, not on the roadmap. Like, there was just future content, but nothing specifically. So they said they're gonna add more strongholds, more live events and stuff like that. But like the Cataclysm was like that one end game thing that they were looking to add in the near future. And I mean, from what they initially said, we should have had it already. So we're already a month behind as far as content goes. But with some of the issues we had early on, it's understandable at this point. Once you get this figured out, it's gonna be awesome. Joel, I agree, man. It is an uphill battle. Like, I stand behind BioWare, but I don't want to, not recognize the issues that are there, because there are some issues, but there's a huge massive potential here, and I think this is the first step to improving that, because just the arenas alone in this Cataclysm are gonna be great, and it's going to push a lot of different people to do new things or try different builds. And the inversions are going to do that greatly. I pretty much use one build on my Colossus right now, but if they're going to tell me I'm going to get 400% more damage on a shotgun, I'm going to start using shotguns more, because it's going to be a way to push the content and get those higher scores at faster times, whichever one they choose to grade, But like, you know, this is like a combination of a couple different arenas that we've seen, and that's what the Cataclysm can do. It's kind of alter the universe as we know it. And so this is like some of like the ruins. What about more so for people who don't want endgame or do it rarely? Well, I think like right now there is no endgame, so they got to put an endgame in first, I think. But I mean, strongholds are what people are really doing right now. They're going to add more world events. I'd like to see more enemy factions, more creatures. You know, more they call them Apex. Apex enemies, similar to like Ursix or Titans, Luminaries, stuff like that. But I mean, if people aren't pushing endgame, then I don't know what they're doing. I mean, with this particular thing, this is the lore card we were talking about before for the load screens. They are adding some. Yeah, exactly. It's matchmaking. I don't think the Cataclysm is going to be like that endgame like a raid is. It's going to be more like a really involved strike from Destiny or something like that, I would say. But the Cataclysm, so I mean, we got 3 new legendary missions in last week's patch, and we're gonna get 3 new critical path missions once the Cataclysm drops, or the pre-Cataclysm, the 2 weeks before the real Cataclysm. So that's more new content, but I agree that there definitely needs to be more story and cinematic content, and that it's not easy to put into the game. You know, that's the stuff that like really takes time, thought, and money to put into. What about the loot? We're gonna get new loot when the Cataclysm drops. So you should see more loot now, or more loot soon, because they're taking luck out and they're giving everybody max luck. So all javelins. No, we're gonna get new loot for the Cataclysm. Excellent. Mule, thank you so much for the host, man. Yeah, so when the Cataclysm drops, we're gonna get new loot. No drops in the wild. I don't know. They didn't really specify that, honestly, Jolo. When will it be fixed? What do you mean? Like, I'm trying to grasp what people mean when they say, like, when will it be fixed? When will we get more loot? We should be getting more loot now. Like, so if you are having trouble getting legendaries and masterworks, once that improves, once they improve the luck stat, which I think it should be in the next 2 weeks because it wasn't in this most recent patch, luck is completely gone. So like, you don't have luck on armor anymore. Everyone has max luck built into the javelins. Every single javelin has max luck built in. You haven't really seen it. Like, I've gone longer than that, honestly, but it should be improving with the next patch. I've gone 2 weeks, and what they did say is that with everyone having max luck, it should actually improve the drops at higher tiers too. So if you're looking to play GM 2 or 3, they should be substantially more rewarding now, guaranteeing that you have max luck as opposed to hoping that your build works for max luck. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why they took it out, because it wasn't really working as intended. No, it's the next patch. This current patch didn't fix the luck stat. I think they said with the first week of the Cataclysm. I think they mean, will it feel more flushed out? What, loot itself? Like, in what sense, Dark Life? What, the game and the story? I mean, every time they drop something new, like substantial like this, they're gonna put like story missions into the game. So that should flush out more story. There's gonna be a ton of like lore and discoverables in the Cataclysm itself for people to go out and find. So even if people don't want to do the content themselves, they can go in there and go hunt for the collectibles, discoverables, and stuff like that. So guaranteed, you're gonna get 3 new critical path missions and collectibles throughout the Cataclysm area. You're also gonna be able to find them easier. So there's gonna be I think they said a question mark on the compass when you're getting close to a discoverable, so that you can really hone in on where they are. I just want to get a chance to get legendaries more than two every 3 weeks. I agree, and I think with the way they fix luck, that should be fixed. Seem to feel that there isn't much to bring them back daily. You see it now on markers and free play. Oh, okay, that I didn't realize, Mule. Thank you. See, I've been saying that for a little while, Dark Life, is that there needs to be a little bit of urgency, and some people feel the opposite way. I was actually reading a Reddit post today where they feel that FOMO shouldn't be a thing in a game like this, but I think there should be. Like, put a sense of urgency in, and it gives you that incentive to go back on a specific time. Oh, that one you're talking about, Mule. I thought you were talking about I'm talking about like the lore discoverables. But yeah, so you're talking about, so those markers are purple or better, essentially. Fling, honestly, like, I do a web show once a week, and I play maybe twice a week at max right now, because it's not worth my time to go in and play every single day. I would love to be at the point where I'm playing every single day, but after 250 hours, I don't think that playing more is progressing me to, you know, maximum level, nor does maximum level have more incentive to play it, you know, right now. So that's, yeah, agreed, Mule. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. Right now, loot's too RNG based. We need that direct, the direct pathway to loot. So if they say you got to do X amount of legendary contracts a week and you can guarantee one legendary, at least you have that one. At least you have that one. That's more than what we can guarantee right now. So that's a positive step in the right direction. So with the Cataclysm brings a new vendor into Fort Tarsus. Now, doing the Cataclysm nets you an amount of currency, and the higher your score, gets you more currency. So higher your score, more currency. Higher difficulty, more score. If you defeat the boss, you double your score, more currency, more chances at different stuff. Now, I don't know how they're going to scale the vendor itself, or like change his inventory, or if it's just like you can open a box, so you can either open a cosmetic box or a weapon box or a gear box, or I don't know how that's going to work, but we should have more opportunities, and I'm pretty sure that will be masterwork or higher, hopefully with a good percentage of legendary drop, or maybe it's tiered. They haven't specified that at all. I'm speculating on that, but there is going to be war chests in the game that you earn currency to go obtain from this vendor in the Fort Tarsus, and that is strictly based on the Cataclysm itself. So that, I feel, is a huge step in the right direction. But we need more of it for everything else, and I agree with you guys 100%. It's we talked about it 2 weeks ago. If you want to check out the show from 2 weeks ago, it is on the YouTube page. You can check. It's not loot crate. It's not loot crates like. It's not monetization loot crates. I think the percentages are going to be a little bit better than what they were for the Elysian caches. I agree. I don't think it's about the amount of loot. I think it's the quality of loot, and that I understand 100%, because I get tons of masterworks. I can't even count how many masterworks I get a week. But not getting a quality drop that improves my score, that. No, they're not going to put loot crates. They're not going to put loot crates into the game. No, the war chests might have a certain RNG to them, but it's going to be all earned in game. It's not going to be like pay cash, get gear. That's never going to happen with this game. So the war chests are going to be similar to I think the way the Elysian caches worked, but better guarantee for good stuff, not garbage, because the Elysian caches had like 65% garbage in them, and that wasn't good. I will say that with absolute conviction, that the Elysian caches were not great. No, but like, it's not a loot crate with cash. Like, that's the way you have to, like, no one's gonna, it's not pay to win. Like, yes, it's gonna be more like engrams, yes. But at least you'll know what it is, like it's. So, Mule, point for you. What's the designation for these? What's the designation for these? Yeah, but EA had very little to do with the monetization of this game. Very little to do with the monetization of this game. And from what I understand, they had very little to do with the monetization of Star Wars Battlefront as well. That was mostly on DICE. So it's not like the big bad, like they love money. I don't think they love loot crates. It's however they can get money to their profit holders, and I understand that it's part of the business, but the loot crates in Star Wars Battlefront wasn't necessarily their idea. They said you have to make money. Like that's really what EA says. Like, we need you to make money, and I completely understand it from a business standpoint. And being a publicly traded company, the profit holder, like the shareholders, want money. Yes, they do. But I don't think, I think the people that have been that play the sports games have been dealing with it long enough that they don't see it to be as much of a problem as people that don't play sports games for whatever reason. Because people spend hundreds, if not thousands, on Ultimate Teams, which is crazy to me. But if that's your thing and that you enjoy doing it, then so be it. Like, if I find something worth spending my money on, it's fine. It's just don't force me to spend money to have a distinct advantage over somebody else, or vice versa. I don't want to have somebody have an advantage over me for money. That's not how a game should be played. But if there's cosmetics that cost money, I'm going to buy it, and I like it. I want to buy it. Joel, and I agree. I agree with you there too. It's a fine line to walk on. Because other games have done that better. Am I excited for E3? I am. There's not a whole lot that I'm really looking forward to, Ruff, but we'll see. I think E3 for me, probably most excited for, and this is a huge surprise to me because I want to see more Destiny. I want to see more Anthem. I want to see Borderlands. I want to see the two games that are really surprising me, that have really come on for me personally lately, is Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the Avengers game. So those are the two that I'm most looking forward to. Wait 5 more years. Call of Duty and Ghost Recon, nice. You miss old BioWare, but fling the cheese. BioWare has been owned by EA for over 10 years. Over 10 years. Every good BioWare title is EA. The only ones of notoriety that are not EA are Baldur's Gate and KOTOR. But every Mass Effect except for the first one and every Dragon Age are all Jade Empire, Neverwinter. Yeah, true. You're right. SWTOR needs Xbox. No, no, they just need to make a new-ish MMORPG for Xbox. SWTOR's combat system is too clunky. But guys, before we go too far off the rails, does anyone have any more questions about the Cataclysm, what we saw on last week's live stream, the PTS, or what are you hopeful to see at EA Play? EA Play is a few days away, guys. New weapons, yeah, for sure, man. I hope to see new archetypes completely, Mule, but they kind of lead me to believe. You got Black Desert? Yeah, I do. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think if Black Desert was free, I'd play it. No embargo, so I'll tell you soon. We won't get a new Javelin. It's free on Game Pass. No, I understand that, but still paying money. Let's see more freelancers in free play mode. I'm not like mad about 4, but I get it. Like, if you want this giant expansive world, it'd be cool to have more. So I'm gonna agree with you, just for the sake of it's not a bad idea. I'd only disagree with you if it was a bad idea. I just want to see the game that was promised. Well, I don't think we're too far off from what like the game could be. BioShock 4, interesting. I know the original BioShock creators just came out with a new game called Void Bastards, and it actually looks pretty good. Yeah, time, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like wasn't it BioShock and System Shock? I only played the first one, and I didn't play the whole thing. No, I said, wasn't Void Bastards the same people that did BioShock and System Shock? Like, they combined, like, it was people from System Shock and BioShock. Not they are the same people. Yeah, that's what I thought. No, I know they're not the same people, but they came together and they made Void Bastards. How are you liking ESO? It's better than I expected it to be. I was really surprised. Like, anyone that knows me knows I'm not like a fantasy RPG guy. But it's pretty good. Like, when it comes down to MMOs, like, I'm about the combat, and if the combat sucks, I don't want to play it. But ESO is not too bad, man. The problem with ESO for me is that, like, it's a lot to catch up on. It's a lot to catch up on. So I'll be playing it here and there. I'd much rather play it on PC, but most of my friends are on Xbox. So that's where we're gonna do it right now. You know, Crow's almost max level, so. Or is max level, so he's been kind of helping me out. It's Skyrim 3.0. No, it's Elder Scrolls Online, man. Like, you can't just say Skyrim and just call Elder Scrolls all of Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That's like not doing the entire series justice. And I'm not even an Elder Scrolls fan. But to call like every Elder Scrolls game Skyrim. Ain't they all the same? No, there's Skyrim's the 5th game, and then Elder Scrolls is the 6th iteration. What happens to the map after Cataclysm? Kane, I'm not sure, man, but I don't think it's gonna go away. I think it's gonna be a permanent part of the map as a whole. But we'll know. I think we'll know more pretty soon, man. I would love to see either a Halo or Assassin's Creed MMO. Actually, as crazy as that sounds, keep your ear to the ground, Fling, because Halo Infinite is being teased as a open world game. Assassin's Creed, I see it more likely. Yeah, like I've heard some speculation, man, that Halo Infinite could be an open world game with like other PvP things, you know, very similar to like Destiny or something like that, but you know, in its own vein, because that's the idea of Infinite, you know, that like there's always something new to do. So there's 2 iterations of what people have said Infinite could be, is that Infinite could be like, you know, you have the infinite open world, or you have this one base game that they're constantly doing new updates to, and they'll never make another Halo. They'll just keep updating the one that they have. Yeah, it's like the ideas are definitely out there, Fling. I want that Marvel MMO we're supposed to get. Well, hold on. 2 things. There's multiple Marvel MMOs. There was the Marvel Heroes Omega, which actually launched and then shut down within like a month or 2, and then there's the Marvel Avengers one coming out pretty soon. Halo 6 is not going to be a thing. I don't think Halo 6 is going to be a thing. Dark Life, yeah. So guys, I don't want to like not take questions, but we're getting way too far off the beaten path here. Does anyone have any more questions on like I said, PTS, Cataclysm, or what you expect to see at EA Play. Base building engineer for SWAT and build defense, like a new Javelin, Kane. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. You know what, like a summoner. Ah, that's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I never thought about that. So, you know, like we've always thought about like the next Javelin being like the true healer, that like it might spawn a drone that could like go heal the other Javelins and something like that. But what if, yeah, like a constructor, you got it. So what if this other Javelin could like 3D print on demand or something, you know, and build structures so you can kind of hide behind for a second or something like that. That'd be pretty cool, man. That's a really good idea. Thank you for bringing that to the table today, Kane. No, like I understand it's not for everyone, but like you know, they're like adding different play styles to the game is always a positive thing, you know. About trading so many masterworks for a legendary. That's not a bad idea either, Fling, and I think that's something that needs to be discussed soon moving forward. And actually, during the live stream on Mixer, me and Mule were moderating, and someone brought up the fact to, you know, maybe there's gonna be a vendor in Fort Tarsus that you can bring your bad legendaries to, or ones you're not gonna use, and crush them into, you know, maybe a transmog system or something like that. That'd be a good system. Some way to get more gear out of the stuff you're not going to use instead of just crushing, because if you crush a legendary right now, you get masterworks out of, you know, masterwork embers out of it, and that's just not good. They need to get rid of microtransactions and MMOs. Then you're playing the wrong game, man. Have I seen Bastion map, like the map of Anthem, the world, like right now? No. I haven't played since the update. I was waiting for today. Or do you mean like what the Cataclysm looks like inside the Cataclysm? When will they open up more of the map? I think after this update, man. I think you bought Resident Evil. Nice, Rough. Yes, like now, Crow. Other city can. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But Fling, I think once the Cataclysm is over, that area is going to remain an explorable area. That's my opinion personally. We'll know more, I'd say, within the next few weeks. When's the update? I don't know. I know the PTS opens up tomorrow. And then when the Cataclysm starts, it's going to be a 2-week pre-event, and then the Cataclysm is going to last 6 weeks. A huge city map? I don't think it's going to be a city map. It'd be interesting to see, though. All right, Kinstruck. But guys, we're gonna switch over to gameplay now. I appreciate all the input and all the questions and comments today. Really makes everything for an interesting conversation, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna take a 2.5 minute break, re-up my water, and then we're gonna jump into some Anthem and check out this update because I haven't done that yet. So, give me 2.5 minutes, and I'll talk to you all then. Thank you for hanging out with the show. If you're gonna go on and do your thing next. Monkey, thank you so much for the follow, man. Welcome. 2.5 minutes. I'll see you guys very, very soon, guys.